We're gonna get 4 more reworks soon. Those shall be for Swain, Naafiri, Ziggs and Cassante. Ray, a rioter, confirmed that they are working on some midscope adjustments similar to what we recently got for Corki and Rek'Sai, and those two were pretty major, even if they were mostly reverts to how they were a while ago with some more changes on top of that, but they did something to all of their abilities, so there should be quite a lot of changes for those 4 as well. But before we get into the details about each of them, this video is sponsored by Eldorado. Eldorado is a platform that helps you save time with your favorite games, with services like getting gold in WoW without having to farm it, or Valorant or level 30 league accounts on any server you want without needing to level them yourself, so you can maybe play with your friends from different regions, or become an evil smurf to see if it's easier to rank up on NA compared to EU, or get a PvE account to test out new stuff early too. All sellers are verified with reviews, and they have 24/7 support, a user-friendly interface, and secure trading with instant delivery and refunds if you are not pleased. Use my link in the description or pinned comment and my discount code REMUS for 5% off on anything. Thanks to Eldorado for sponsoring this video, and now let's get into it. Swain, they did try to change before already. They did a mini midscope not too long ago after his VGU, but guess it wasn't enough. He was pretty strong as a support for a while, but he has a horrible win rate now and is very unpopular with a tiny peak rate. He's doing okay in mid with quite a big win rate, but the peak rate is still small, so he's quite situational or only works in low elo, since the higher you go, the lower the win rate goes too. He's too unpopular right now in both roles and sucks as a support. Maybe they need to revert the infinite healing changes and give more power to the rest of his kit, like making his E easier to hit, so you can't do 10 push-ups and still have time to walk out of it. They said they are exploring some major new mechanics for him, but they have been mostly unsuccessful at making Swain more satisfying for now. Naafiri I always thought was a fun and simple champion, but she is really unpopular already for such a new champion, having about the same 0.8% peak rate as Swain, and it keeps dropping every patch. And since she's a pretty new champion and also quite easy, so she doesn't have much skill expression, we don't really know what would help her out the most, since that was the goal with her, a simple assassin, so maybe that's boring since assassin mains like being able to do cool stuff and outplays, and you can't do that with her much. And she's quite easy to predict and counter with her obvious dashes and moves, and her Q is too easy to dodge. Maybe they should make the speed of her Q faster, or give it a slow effect if you hit with it, or make Q2 more reliable, since right now she's mostly relying on her ult alone and all the buffs and doggies she gets from it, but without it she can't do too much, since her entire power fantasy comes from summoning puppies and jumping with them to bite people. As for Ziggy, he's a bit more picked than those two, but doesn't have a great win rate on mid, and has a bigger win rate on bot, and not as a support, but as an AP carry, which is quite odd, so maybe they should do something to make him better at 1v1 to push him out of bottom and back into mid. He also has the same problem as Naafiri, that most of his abilities, and especially his Q, are quite easy to outrun and predict, so maybe make his Q more easy to hit or fast. Apart from that, he's quite fun, with a lot of poke potential, great wave clear, and that cool power of destroying low towers, but he's easily defeated by most assassins or fast mage champions, so maybe he could use something more defensive too. Or maybe just give him a nuke on his ult that kills him too, so he can enter teamfights like a kamikaze and explode and kill everyone. And finally, Cassante again. Also quite a newish champion that already had a lot of changes and already had a midscope recently, but what about second midscope? Since he's still not fine. He's actually in the worst spot he's ever been right now, at the actual bottom of win rates, only followed by Lucian mid. He's at 45% win rate, but with a decent peak rate of almost 5% still. So he's not unpopular, he's just quite bad right now. They really need to pick one direction and either make him full tank or full bruiser maybe. It's quite hard to balance the half tank, half assassin kit he has going on with that ult, while also not being that great at engages, so we'll see what they're going to change for him again. So that's all we know so far. What would you recommend for them to do with any of those 4 champions, especially if you main one of them? And what do you hope gets changed this time? Leave a like or they'll rework Yumi into an assassin, check out Eldorado, and thanks for watching.
Meow.